What's up everybody? Welcome to the Motopilot Garage. Today we're going to put a bigger back sprocket on the 2016 Africa Twin because we want more torque out of this engine. But you can do this to any street bike, any dirt bike. It's a really popular thing to do to add more torque to the rear wheel. So the Africa Twin is known for having like a soft linear power band, which means it just kind of climbs at an even rate. It doesn't have like that punch. And I want a little more punch out of my engine. By that I mean more pulling power, like out of corners, on the street. Like if I'm riding in the dirt, I want to be able to lighten the front end to get over obstacles. And I've noticed right now with the power band, I can't really do that. And the great thing about this is all you gotta do is go to a bigger back sprocket. You can go to a smaller front sprocket, but one tooth smaller in the front on the counter shaft is equal to about 3 teeth bigger in the back. I don't want to go that much. Now the stock sprocket on this bike is a 42 tooth. We're going to a 44 tooth. So we're bumping it up 2 teeth, and I'm gonna put on a new chain. And the great thing is, not only am I gonna get more performance, I'm gonna get a better looking drivetrain here. You can see the stock sprocket's stamped steel. It's pretty ugly. Chain has nothing really sexy going on about it. So, you know, we like to make our Africa Twins look good, and a lot of us just ignore the drivetrain, but this little thing right here, we can make it look much better. Let me show you how. All right, so for the sprocket, I went with the Superlight brand here. You can see here it doesn't have a lot of material. It's black, it looks good, it's clean, nothing overly fancy. It is steel, so it'll last longer. You go with an aluminum one, you're gonna lose lifespan out of that. We're going with the EK chain, gold. I always go with gold chains on my bikes. This chain is their 525 SRX2. I went with 130 links. That way I can cut it to length. And when I get to it, I'm going to show you why this is a great chain to use too, because you don't need a lot of special tools to put it on. The master link could be a big problem on street bike chains. Now I went the extra mile and ordered some red anodized nuts for the sprocket. Those are very cool. And then I also went with some chain adjuster blocks, red anodized. These look way better than stock. They have these little spools here for putting the bike on a center stand if you don't have a center stand. I do, so I don't really need these, but these were the only chain blocks I could find for this bike, and they just so happen to come with this center stand mount here. Now another thing we're going to do today is I'm going to put on a set of new tires. These are the Mitas E07 Plus. I've heard nothing but great reviews on these, so I'm excited about that. Look at those knobbies, man. They're going to be much better than what I have now. And along with that, I'm going to make my wheels tubeless. And there's a system out there a lot of guys are doing where you get this 3M super tape. You basically, when your tires are off, I'm going to tape around the nipples, seal them off, finish it off with a airtight valve stem, and then we'll have tubeless wheels. Great advantage to that. Now I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, how's it going to affect your RPMs going down the freeway? Obviously a bigger back sprocket is going to raise your RPMs. It's also going to affect your fuel mileage, but I won't know about that. I don't measure my fuel mileage, I just ride. So what I want to do before I pull the wheels off the bike and take them down to the shop is I'm going to take the bike for a ride. You guys are going to come along with me. We're going to measure the RPMs with the stock gearing at 45 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour. I'm going to bring it up to 100 miles an hour. I want to see how it does. Then what we'll do after we get the bigger sprocket on the back, we'll go ride it again and we'll measure the RPMs at those different speeds and we'll see how much it changes. Great test, right? So let's get on some gear and let's go. Got that. 65 and 6 gear. So what I like about these EK chains is this master link doesn't require any special tools. You just thread on the 2 nuts that push on the main link. Once those get tight, back them off a little bit, and then just snap the nuts off with a pair of vice grips, and you're done. Now what I normally do, because these chains have like white lithium grease on them, I'll come back, I'll take a rag with a little bit of lacquer thinner. You don't want to drench it, just make it damp. And just go around your chain and clean it off. You don't want to have, see how it just takes that white lithium grease right off. It looks great. Ooh, look at that. All right, here's the completed rear sprocket. You can see here, got the nice red nuts. I made sure I Loctited these because they're not locking nuts. The stock one is like a locking nut. These aren't, so make sure you Loctite them. Torque them to spec. Got these nice adjuster blocks here with the center stand spools, which are cool. Looks so much better in stock. Got the nice gold chain, easy to put on. Things like butter. Look at that new tire. Oh my God, nothing better than a new tire. Let's take this 44 sprocket for a ride, and I'm excited to see how it feels. All right, let's bring it up to speed. Do our speed tests. 45, what was it, 45 in 4th gear. Got that. 65 in 6th gear. My biggest thing is I want to see how it does, you know, RPM wise, going like 85, because that's like my most common speed that I'm riding. Good, dude. All right, so I've had a little more time to learn the power band in different situations, and I want to tell you about that real quick. You'll notice from like 0 to 4,000, 5,000 RPMs, you do feel more torque, but it's not as noticeable as 6,000 plus RPMs. You come off a red light, you get on the gas, you get on it pretty hard, and you really feel the bike pull so much better. I mean, I'm really impressed with it. I'm really happy with it. I even noticed that if I take off from a red light, and obviously 1st gear, and I turns green and I take off, the front end will actually come up a little bit. You believe that? It never did that before. So thanks to that added torque, as you click through 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th gears, and you're on the gas, you feel that thing pull so much better. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a speed run right here from 0 miles an hour, and I'm going to rip it up to 80, and I want to see how long it takes to get there. And I'm so bummed that I didn't measure that with the stock gearing, but take your bike, you go measure how long it takes you to get from 0 to 80 and see how it compares to this. I like that. Whew, I'm all fogged up. What a beautiful day, man. It's been freezing lately, and today is awesome here in Southern California. Look at those green hills. Now, after I do this real quick, I'm going to jump in the dirt right there and give it a mild rip. I'm not really wearing the proper boots and everything for that. I got my sport bike boots on. But we'll see how she does a little bit. Wouldn't be a proper test without a little bit of a dirt run, right? You might even see the front end come off the ground. I didn't expect the front end to come up that high, but I was on the gas a bit harder that time than like normally I do off a red light, just to get up to 80 as fast as I could. You see that? How the front end lifted up without any clutch. I didn't clutch it at all, it just burnt. So that's been pretty impressive. Let's go over here and hit the dirt. All right, guys, I just had something weird happen, and it has to do with the added torque on the bike. First thing was I was in 2nd gear, going not too fast. Popped the clutch a little bit to try to loft the front end, see if it would come up. And the clutch slipped a little bit. I'm like, huh, it's kind of strange. Okay, maybe it was just a fluke. So then I'm riding a little bit further, and I go to pass a car in 2nd gear. We're just coming out of a red light. Go to pass them, get on the gas, 2nd gear, and the motor slips, the clutch slips. I'm like, it's never done that before. So what I'm saying is that's kind of a telltale sign that the bike definitely has more torque, and it's putting more of a load on the engine, more of a load on the clutch, which is good. I don't have a problem with that. I'll throw a fresh clutch in there he'll go even faster. Oh man, last time I came here was after a rain. It was a little too wet. Now look at this, it's a little too dry. But let's check it out. Oh, I gotta turn off my ABS. Can't have that. I just went to brake and the ABS was kicking on. We'll keep it on the fire roads. The back end is just kind of, you know, spinning around a bit. Just a light fishtail, nothing I can't control, but that added torque, I mean, the way the power just comes on, because the tire can spin a little bit and push up the R's, it feels really good. Way more like a real dirt bike, where before the power band just felt like just a street bike. Road to nowhere. Of course, don't forget I got my new tires on this bad boy. They feel good so far. Not much of a test. But I tell you what, I think between this new torque and these new tires, off-road, it's gonna be much better. Where I want to go. Normally out here I would air down my tires. I would drop them down to about 20 in the back, a little over 15 in the front, so I can feel that my tires are way overinflated. That's a whole nother video that I'm going to bring to you guys. Move. But yeah, I can tell that the back end definitely breaks loose easier than normal. Of course, I am out here in super dry dirt. The last time I was out here after a good rain. But the torque feels so good. I feel like I said, I'm on more of a CRF 450 than before. Obviously it's twice the weight and the power band's totally different, but performance wise in the dirt, it just feels more responsive, you know, where before it was kind of like sluggish to respond. I mean, it just gets up and goes, man. Snappy, way more snappier. I think that's all I got to say about it, guys. I mean, I'm really happy with it. It's gonna have to live with it a little bit longer than just a few hours to fully figure it out and know how much I'm gonna enjoy it. But I can tell you right now, I'm super happy with it. On the street, on the dirt. The great thing is too, if I want to go back down to stock, which is 2 teeth smaller, I can put the smaller sprocket on, knock one link out of my chain, and it would fit. The chain's longer with the 44 than it is with the 42, so that's why I'm not even worried about it. And I took a gamble. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Go out and get yourself a 44 Tooth Sprocket and a sweet looking gold chain. You'll be blinging and riding better than you ever rode before. See you later.